Hello and welcome to my watch reviews, and today we are reviewing this latest edition from Baltany. Now, can you guess what it's supposed to be homage in? Because if you can't, you will when I tell you the name. It's called the 1963 Explorer. So yes, it's basically having all its design cues stolen from a very well-known brand and put into this nice, neat, little affordable package. I don't know where you sit with homages. To me, they're okay. I know some people really don't like them, but I think this model offers something slightly different, and that in many respects is its dial colour. Now, you can get this in the black if you want the sort of traditional look, but otherwise you have this brown burst type of dial. They call it a tropical dial, and in low light conditions like you can see here, it just looks pretty dull. However, when you get it into the light, this thing lights up and it looks absolutely stunning. Now, I don't know whether the original had a dial like this. I think not. I think this may be Baltany's twist on it. And yes, my word, it works. And that's also all put into a very nice small little case. This watch is a magnificent 36mm. It's going back old school. Back in 1963, that is probably the case size it originally was, and I love it for that. It's got a vintage vibe. So let's take a better look at that dial in better lighting. Well, here we are in the great British sunshine, and it's doing it justice there. That is a spectacular colour combination. Do like that brown, certainly against the faux patina, and they've got the faux patina I think just right. It's not too yellow and it's not too white at the same time. The colours play off very well, and I do like it for that. Now, this is a no day date complication watch, so you've got a dial in symmetry. The Explorer dial is, let's face it, as basic as it comes. It has to be very legible. It is kind of a field type watch or an exploring watch, so you go on adventures when you're wearing a watch like this. So like in all of my videos, it's not just good enough to look at the dial through the glass, so let's get it on the microscope and get up close and personal. Now the movement is out of the watch and we can get close up on that dial. It's a lovely colour, isn't it? Let's face it, if we just move it into the light, you can see it's got a slight texture, the printing texture to it. Now don't forget, this watch is done on a budget, but it is looking pretty decently clean to me. There is a few little specks down here where the hand is, which might not be anything. Could be just the fact that I've removed it, to be quite honest with you. So at a glance, that looks fine. The printing looks fine. But let's get a little bit closer up and examine it in more detail. So here we are, as close as I dare go. Yes, there is lots of little specks, and I do suspect that that is the way I've removed the movement, to be honest with you. I will blow those off with my blower. Doesn't really show or come off at the moment, and use a bit of Rodico. But let's just quickly look at the printing. So the indices are just printed Lume, but they all look decent enough, don't they? The minute markers as well, absolutely fine. Edges to the dial are okay. Maybe a slight overpainting there at the 6. That looks good enough. Yep, can't fail with that. The hands look black, and that's just because of the light. We are looking closer at them. The Lume again looks okay, doesn't it? Now, hands are generally, I think, just pressed out of sheet or lasered or something like that. So you sometimes see burrs or rough edges. But again, they look all right. The Lume looks fine, doesn't it? You know, Baltany, whatever you think about these sort of micro brands or homage type brands, let's just try and tilt that on the angle. You know, Baltany to make some nice stuff, and I love the colour of this dial. I like the way it fades, and it's I like the texture actually. I didn't really realise it had that. And you know, the good thing with a texture like that is it plays with the light a little bit, and gives you, you know, because it's a sort of a burst colour, you know, fading into the center there. It gives you good light reflection, doesn't it? So there we go. That is the dial on the microscope. What is that on the hands there, actually? The hour hand, is that a scratch? Just see if we can get a bit of Rodico in. Yes, that's a mark of some sort. But again, you know, we are so close up, you ain't going to see that with your eye. I'll be very surprised. Okay, there we go. And you can see by the dial there that this is a 200 metre water resistance. It's got sapphire crystal with AR coating, screw down crown, screw down case back, that's what's giving you the waterproofing. Of course, I've just completely invalidated all of the warranty by taking it out, but you know, I need to show these watches and be as honest as possible. But again, look at that shot there. It looks absolutely fantastic. Let's see what it looks like with the lights out. Quick flash of the UV pen to charge it up, and this is a time lapse over 10 minutes. Now this is Swiss Super Luminova, but it's only applied to the dial rather than filled in index, so therefore it shouldn't last as long. And of course we're on a budget. Baltany aren't known for their lume, but this is actually standing up rather well. I was quite impressed with it, to be quite frank. It does last longer than the 10 minutes in this video. By the way, it did go on for quite some time, so reasonable for the price. Over to the case finishing. Well, it's got high polished sides and a brushed top there, and brushed on the bracelet as well. You get to see lots of watches, and they're all now seem to be having quite decent finishes, and I think that's just, well, just modern day machinery really. You've got CNC controlled, it's going to be making the cases and things, so the tolerances get a lot tighter and things fit nicer, and then combined with just better polishing equipment and so on and so forth. So most brands are probably getting their cases from elsewhere, all made in one factory or a few factories perhaps, and therefore you're getting this good quality. But it's great to see because it comes at fantastic prices as well. You know, when we start now looking at the side profile, you can see it's high polished, which is great. You can actually see the first time on a Baltany watch their logo on the sign crown, which is great. Lug to lug is nice and small. We'll get onto the measurements in just a moment. First I need to show the case back. Well, that's straight out of the San Martin factory, isn't it? It's exactly the same as I see on all of these. And then down onto the bracelet, great brushing, nice solid stainless steel. This is the first Baltany that I've actually reviewed with a bracelet, and this one does come with a bracelet, or you can have a cheaper option on a strap. Right, let's now size the watch. So let's size it up properly, and there we go, 36mm in diameter. I love a little watch like this. 39 with the crown. Thickness 12.2. Lug to lug with the bracelet on, because I think that's more important. We are looking at 43, and lug width, I think, if I remember rightly, was 20mm, which it is there. Bracelet starts at, say, 20, and it's going to taper down to 16. Pretty standard parameters there for the sizing. So now you know the sizing. This is what it looks like on a 7-inch 18cm wrist. 36mm looks absolutely fine to me. I don't know why people get hung up so much on size under 38. Small watches are mighty, let's put it that way. So surprise, surprise, the watch is powered by NH38 movement. It just says it here on the rotor, you can see. Now Baltany are pretty good like that. They choose the movements to suit the dial. This is a no day date complication movement, and of course it's a clean dial, so you've got no date. So there's no ghost position, and I wish other brands would do that, to be honest with you. Choose the right one. The NH38, 35, 36 movements are all the same. They run really well, dead reliable. This might look like dust and stuff, but it's just the camera and the way it reflects. We haven't got the spring issue that I've seen on others. That's fitted correctly. You know, they're a good enough movement. They're reliable, don't really go wrong. They're not anything flashy, but at a price point you can't really beat them. So let's take the movement out so we can do the dial shots. It might not be in sequence for the video, but at least I can show you how I do that. Unscrew the stem, keep it in first position. You've got a little thing here. Now if I pull that out, for instance, you can see it disappear, look. So if you ever need to remove your stem, keep it in, get a pair of tweezers, push down on that. That's actually the set and lever spring, and out comes the stem. And then you can sort of pry up the plastic ring in order to get the movement out. So there we go, a little bit of a lesson for you, just in case you're curious as to how to remove a stem on an H movement. There we go. Okay, it's time to test the movement, and this time I'm doing it live rather than just recording 2 or 3 minutes in each position. So we've got lift angle 53 degrees and we're dial up. Let's see what we get. I was going to say the rate was alarming then, because there's no way that that was the right rate. Absolutely perfect out the packet. Look at this, we've got decent amplitude, 2 seconds a day. It's not 8 seconds, I can tell you that now. Beat error of 0.2. Beat error is just on the limit for me. But yeah, that's seemingly pretty good. Let's test it in stress positions. So we are now crown up. And what we want to do is see the same thing happening. There's a lot of background displacement here. And yeah, you know, that's changing very little. The rate is more than 4, I think. There we go, it's going to start creeping up. But that will settle down. That's usually what happens the longer you leave it in that position. And this is where gravity is having the maximum effect on the balance and trying to pull it away from sitting. Similarly with the next stress one, which is crown down. And that's closed up the beat error actually. So that's pretty decent. And again, you're going to get a similar sort of rate. This is going to be a movement that's running well within 10 seconds a day. And for a budget Seiko movement, honestly, that you can't get any better than that. So last position, I have to turn it all the way around really. Take it out. It doesn't help that the bracelet's on. And we'll put it in dial down, which is always the least stressful place for it to be. And as a result, we should get a decent reading, which I can see there. So when I'm doing my watchmaking, I will generally regulate into these 4 different positions, and I'll let it run for quite a while just to be sure that we are getting constant. But for the video purposes, that is plenty good enough. Well done, Baltany, you've picked decent movement out the packet. And here's the watch in hand, just so you get a feel for the size. Now I've had to remove 4 links out of the bracelet. There you can see Baltany on there. High polished sides on that bracelet. Nice bit of brushing. And again, there's the watch head itself. Let's just zoom in a little bit. Other watch reviewers do everything in their hands like this. I just can't do that. You can see there's a lot of grease. I have been wearing it typically, but then that's what I should do. I don't review a watch without test driving it first. But yeah, it is a decent little watch, honestly, for the money that they want for this. Cannot fault it. The clasp, you could argue that it is a little bit sticky here to undo, but to be honest with you, that's a good thing. You don't want the clasp coming undone unnecessarily, do you? Okay, there we go. That's the watch in the hand. So I've mentioned it being affordable all the way through the video, and now it's time for the price. And as you can see on the screen, it is, on the bracelet at least, $199 US, which is around about 155 UK pounds. Now with the strap, 170, that's about 135 quid. So that's a pretty decent price for a stainless steel watch, sapphire crystal, decent enough movement. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you. They're either not making a lot of profit, or they've got some very clever buyers who can buy this stuff. Let's quickly show you the black version. There you go. So if you prefer that, that's what that one's going to look like. Of course, there's loads more pictures and bits and pieces on their listing. There will be a link to this down below should you want to go and check it out, or check out some of their other watches that they've got on offer. It's not an affiliate link, but it does take you there. And if you're after budget watches that look the part, then trust me, head over to Baltany. I've just noticed here as well, look, you can actually get $6 off by using that BALOFF product code, which is great. So yeah, a little bit more of a saving again. So yeah, head over to Baltany. You won't be disappointed, I don't think. A quick word on packaging. I don't normally do that, but Baltany always have come with these lovely cases, and still my favourite Baltany of all time there. And good for storing the watches. They're hard. I mean, if you can use it as a travel case, go on holiday, you can put 2 or 3 watches in there. But they've changed it to this, and I'm on the fence really. It comes in, it's a nice enough box, little pull cord, and then you get this sort of leather pouch. I think it's leather. Which you undo this little bit here, and then the watch is sort of tucked in there. And I don't know. I mean, it's nice enough, I suppose, but it just doesn't do much for me compared to that. You tell me in the comments which one you think is better. I mean, okay, there's the spare links that I've taken out, and in the bottom of the box, of course, you're going to get your warranty card, your polishing cloth. Great that they give a polishing cloth, because not many of the brands do. You get a spring bar tool, and you get the screwdriver in order to adjust the bracelet. So they have thought of everything. And again, for the price that they're asking for this, to include little tools like that, it's just that extra touch that sets them apart, to be honest with you. Yeah, very impressed. So there we go, just a little gripe or moan, or I don't even know what it is. You know, you tell me, do you like this idea? I suppose if you've only got 1 or 2 watches, you're probably never going to use this again. So then is it a waste of materials? I just don't know. But there we go. Okay guys, that's the end of this review. A pleasant little watch at an affordable price, and you won't be really disappointed. Okay, nothing for originality, although I do like the difference in the dial on this particular one. Please leave a comment below. I'll read every one, try to reply to as many as I can. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this particular watch, and maybe Baltany in general, your good or bad experiences with them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. It's all I ever ask for. It helps the channel no end. And if you're new and you enjoyed it, then consider subscribing. It's free, of course, and you get to see a different perspective on watch reviewing from hopefully a guy who likes to know a little bit more about the insides of a watch than most people who are reviewing them. So there we go. Stay tuned. More videos to come in the future, and of course more watch repair videos over on the main channel, My Retro Watches. So be sure to go over there and check that out too. And I suppose, seeing as they sponsored the video in many respects, I say sponsored, they haven't sponsored it, they don't give me anything financially, but they do send a watch and I don't have to send it back. So there we go. It kind of works both ways, doesn't it? So yes, thanks to Baltany. Go and check their website out. They have got some really cool models. I have to say, there's going to be something you're going to like on there, and again, very affordable pricing. See you in the next one, guys. Bye for now.